이번 시간에는 금관악기에 대하여 알아봅니다. 금관악기의 종류는 트럼펫, 트롬본, 호른, 튜바 등이 있습니다. 그럼 먼저 트럼펫에 대하여 알아봅니다. 트럼펫의 역사는 기원전 2000년으로 거슬러 올라갈 만큼 대단히 길며 15세기경에 지금의 모양을 갖춘 것으로 알려져 있습니다. 트럼펫의 종류는 다음 영상을 보세요. 트럼펫은 음역에 관계없이 밸브의 구동 방식에 따라 피스톤식과 로터리식으로 구별됩니다. 이것은 일반적인 피스톤식 트럼펫입니다. 두 악기 사이의 연주법의 차이는 작지만 피스톤식이 더 직선적입니다. 소리는 더 강한 소리를 낼 수 있어요. 이것은 좀 더 부드러운 소리를 내는 로터리식 트럼펫입니다. 특히 로터리 트럼펫은 야금으로 부드러운 톤을 내기가 용이하며 이것이 클래식 음악을 연주하는 데 큰 장점입니다.
Trumpet because my grandfather played it, so I felt familiar with it. But I also chose it because I grew up in a big family and I was looking for an activity that could be just for me. If you're thinking about playing the trumpet, there are a few things you should keep in mind. First of all, it's a fairly small instrument, which means it's easy to carry, it's easy to hold, and it's pretty simple. We just have these three valves up here, which you'll push with your right hand. Now, if you're left-handed like I am, don't worry. Your right hand can easily manage the valves. Second, you're going to learn how to make your sound on the trumpet in a very special way. We actually buzz our lips into the mouthpiece, like this. Now, the better you get at buzzing, the better you're going to get at trumpet playing. And by the way, if you have braces or think you might get braces, you can still play any of the brass instruments. And in fact, the more you practice buzzing, the less you'll notice your braces. Now finally, the trumpet is a melody instrument and it can be kind of loud, which means in most of your music you'll be playing the tune and everyone is going to hear every note you play. So you are going to want to be brave.
Everyone, I'm Alison and today I'm going to be introducing the natural trumpet to you, or the Baroque trumpet. As you can see on the table here, I have 3 trumpets and they're all very different. So the instruments I have with me today, I have this one, which you probably would recognise as a trumpet. I'll play you a few notes in a minute. But then we have this one, which some people might not even think looks like a trumpet, but this is what trumpets used to look like. It doesn't play all the notes of the scale. It obviously has no valves, and trumpeters have to make all the notes just with their lips. What is sometimes a bit deceiving with the natural trumpet is that it's got these holes, so it looks a bit like a recorder. It looks like these will make the notes, but in fact they don't do that. What they do, they sort of help with the tuning and put it more closely aligned with what our modern ears would hear as equal temperament. But in fact that's exactly what we do anyway on the modern trumpet. It's just we have all the gaps filled in with the valves. I'll show you. So this instrument is nearly an octave higher than this one. This one's much longer, but it works in the same way. And then combinations, and then of course you have got all the notes of a chromatic scale. Otherwise is this one, which is also a modern invention. The first time I think it was ever widely heard was on the Beatles track Penny Lane. As you can see, they don't all look like this. My piccolo looks like a Cornish pasty, but some of them look like tiny versions of this. This one has piston valves, and this one has rotary valves. And this makes a very bright and beautiful sound.
두 번째로 호른이라는 악기를 알아봅니다. 호른 또는 프렌치 호른은 금관악기의 일종으로 나팔꽃 모양의 관이 특징입니다. 발생 시기에 관하여서는 트럼펫과 같으나 호른이라는 것은 불의미하므로 특히 불필이를 그 기원으로 생각할 수도 있습니다.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel, and I play horn in the Cleveland Orchestra. I started playing horn when I was 4 years old, and it was actually chosen for me by my parents. Coming from a very musical family, the horn is actually one of the only instruments that plays in both brass and woodwind groups. And so my mother, being a bassoonist, and my father, a trumpet player, picking the horn for me meant that I could play more with the both of them. If you're thinking about playing the horn, you want to keep a few things in mind. Unlike any other brass instruments, horn players keep their right hand inside the bell. This affects sound and intonation. Their left hand is used to operate the valves. Valves help you change notes. There are two ways to hold the horn, on the knee and off the knee. For beginners, I would recommend starting on the knee. Playing on the knee provides a sense of stability and comfort. Although, it will depend on your own personal comfort whether you play on the knee or off the knee. We make sound by buzzing air through our lips into the mouthpiece, which is connected to the horn. Horn is one of the most versatile instruments in the entire orchestra. We do play a lot of long melodies and solos, but we also create texture while playing with string instruments, woodwind instruments, and other brass instruments to help create a harmonic color and harmonic tone of the orchestra.
이제 트롬본이라는 악기를 알아봅니다. 트롬본은 두 개의 유자 모양의 관을 서로 끼워 맞추어서 만들어진 악기로 톱 모양의 마우스피스의 입술을 진동시켜 소리를 내는 금관악기의 한 종류입니다. 음의 높낮이 조절은 슬라이드로 하게 됩니다.
Hi, my name is Shachar, and I play trombone in the Cleveland Orchestra. If you're considering picking up the trombone, there's a few things I'd like you to keep in mind. The first is that the sound of the trombone closely resembles the sound of our human voice, which, for me, makes it the best instrument ever. Second, as you can see, the trombone is a fairly large instrument, and it has a long slide. Now, while you don't have to be right-handed or left-handed to play the trombone, you will play the trombone and move the slide with your right arm. However, you might want to wait until you are developed enough physically, and maybe at the age of 10 or 11 years old, to pick up the trombone. I love the sound of the trombone. As I mentioned earlier, it resembles the sound of our human voice very closely. I also love the music of Johann Sebastian Bach. Here's an example of it.
Hello, my name is Christian Jones and I play the bass trombone with the Philharmonia Orchestra. The bass trombone is in the brass family of instruments and it makes a sound when I take a big breath and buzz my lips into it like this. My buzz travels down this mouthpiece and into the instrument to make a sound. To give the note a clear start, I use my tongue, as if I was pronouncing the letter T. T, 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 t. On a brass instrument, it is the air passing through my buzzing lips starting the sound. The tongue is used to tidy up the note and give it a precise beginning so that I can play in time with the 80 other musicians of the Philharmonia Orchestra. When I tighten and slacken my buzzing lips into the trombone, there's a specific pattern of neigh with my lips and make it sound tidy with my tongue. The trombone has a big long slide too. Can you count the number of positions on the slide? That's right, 7. And the notes become lower as my slide becomes longer. What will happen to the notes when I draw the slide back towards me? The notes become higher again. So now I can combine my lips buzzing and tongue tidying and my arm moving the slide to play lots of different notes. This is called a bass trombone, which means it can play very low notes.
이제 금관악기 마지막인 튜바 악기를 알아봅니다. 튜바는 금관악기 중 최저음역을 내는 악기로 기본 금관악기들 중 가장 역사가 짧은 악기입니다. 튜바도 2조악기 중 하나입니다.
My name is Yasu, and I play the tuba in the Cleveland Orchestra. I started playing the tuba when I was 12 in the middle school. I choose the tuba because my classmate asked me to play tuba. Then I saw tuba, it was huge. But when I play tuba, sounds so beautiful. If you're thinking about playing the tuba, you will want to keep a few things in mind. We have 4 octaves range, playing very low and very high. Tuba usually play the bass line, then other instruments usually play melodies. In the orchestra, normally there is one tuba. You have to be brave.
이상으로 금관악기에 대한 설명을 마치고 금관악기 전체가 마지막으로 연주합니다. 어떤 악기인지 한번 맞춰보세요.